Welcome once again, my friends, and thank you for stopping by to listen to an old storyteller. Today we have a creation story from the Native American Coos tribe, and the title of this story is Arrow Young Men. Two young men were traveling. They stopped in the middle of their journey, and one of them said, "How would it be if we two should try it? What do you think about it?" "It would be good. We two should try it," answered the other one. "We ought to try it with that soot here." They had 5 discs of soot. Now they stopped and dropped one piece into the ocean. The world at that time was without land. Everything was covered with water. Again, they dropped one disc. The ocean was roiling over the disc. The next day they dropped another disc. Then they stopped at some small place and dropped another disc into the ocean. They looked at it from above. Now land began to appear, and they saw it. They were very glad when they saw the land coming up. The next day they dropped another disc. Land began to come up out of the ocean. They looked frequently at the waves that rolled back and forth continually. "What is your opinion?" said one of the two men. "Shall we try it again?" "With what shall we try it?" asked the other one. The water was still roiling back and forth. "Let us split this mat." They did so, and placed the 2 pieces over the 5 discs of soot. Now they went down to examine it. Still, the land was not solid enough. So one of them said, "Let us split this basket in 2. They split it and put it on the sand beach. The waves were held back now, since the water was able to go down through the basket. Now the young men went down and examined the land. "This will do," said one of them. "It's good that way." Now they began to look around the world which they had created. There were no trees. "Suppose we set up some trees," said one of them. "It would be very good," answered the other one. Then they stuck into the ground the feathers of an eagle. The feathers began to grow and developed soon into fir trees. "All kinds of trees shall grow," said the older man, and all the different kinds of trees commenced to grow. "Suppose we create animals," said one of the young men. "It wouldn't be good if there shouldn't be any animals. The future generations ought to have animals." Then they created animals. Early in the morning they went to look at the world they had created. Suddenly they saw tracks on the ocean beach. "Whose tracks may these be?" asked one of them. They followed the tracks and soon came upon a person sitting on the top of a snag. "You indeed must have made these tracks. Who are you?" "I am Medicine Man," answered the person, whose face was painted all over with red paint. "You have no right to travel here. This is our world. We have made it." "Are you surely a medicine man?" They seized the stranger and killed him. Then they spilled his blood in all directions and said to him, "You will be nothing. The last generation shall see you." Then they turned back. Suddenly one of them became pregnant. The child could not come out. "What will become of us? We ought to have wives." None of them had done anything. Nevertheless, they became pregnant. The child was all the time trying to come out, but could not do it. So they sent someone to the north and told him, "There is a man living there. He is a good man. Bring him here." Someone went to get him. They went out in a canoe. To their surprise, there were no waves. So they wished that waves would come. "5 times shall the north wind come and bring 5 breakers." And so it was. They were there waiting for the 5th wave, and when this came, they went ashore. They found the man and brought him to the pregnant person. As soon as he saw the pregnant man, he took out the child. It was a girl. From this girl, all the people took their origin. She caused the people to multiply and to inhabit the world. Now the young men continued their journey. They once more examined the world which they had created, and found it to be good. Everything began to assume its present appearance. And one day they had bows. "How would it be if we should shoot towards the sky?" Indeed, they began to shoot. They looked at their arrows as they were shooting them. "You ought to shoot one arrow," said one of the young men. "Shoot it so that it shall hit the shaft of mine, and it will look as if it were one arrow. But don't shoot too hard." He shot it and hit it. "Shoot again." Their arrows became joined and reached down to the place where they were standing. "Suppose we climb up now." "All right." They shook the arrows. "Are they firm? Won't they come apart?" "Now you try to climb up." He climbed up. "This is very good indeed." Then the other man climbed up. They looked down and saw the beautiful appearance of the world which they had created. Nobody knows what became of the two young men, but here the story ends. Thank you once again for listening to this story. If you enjoyed this story, please press that like button. Also, please help an old storyteller out by subscribing to my channel. The next story will be posted in a few days, so until then, may your story continue to be a good one.